Now the new chairperson of the Mauritius Civil Service College, Sir Juba, the representative from the presidents of the Federation, I see Mr. Sajan, maybe others will be coming later on, and dear colleagues, friends from all ministries departments. Also Mr. Ramchern, who is the Chief Operating Officer of Team Synthesis in Mauritius. Ladies and gentlemen. So a very good morning, good afternoon to you all. And I would say I'm very glad to meet so many of you after some time. You are here to listen to our speaker, Mr. Moy. So I wish you a very warm welcome to listen to this talk on public sector innovation mindset. Innovation mindset, these are very powerful words. So we'll listen from our chief guest. And he is, as I mentioned, he's the master trainer from Singapore. But he has worked in several countries, including Malaysia. He talks about innovation enablement, talent management, leadership development, and values socialization. These are very big words, but we'll listen from him how important these are for the Mauritian context. So this talk comes at a time when the public sector in Mauritius is called upon to attain new heights and engage in a process of innovation and transformation, so that it can contribute effectively in creating a new economic miracle as illustrated in the government program 2015-2019. And indeed, as you know, we have now a ministry responsible for innovation, known as the Ministry of IT, Communication and Innovation. And you will agree with me that innovation doesn't simply imply change for the sake of changing, but rather it is about bringing meaningful change that really makes the difference. And there are many pathways to become innovative. We can reorganize, as we used to talk about, reinvent, re-engineer, adopt new technology. But in the change process or any change process, there's always a human dimension which is very important. And we have to give all the attention that it requires, to the human factor. It is often said that people make the difference in the organization. But at times, it is also difficult to have an organizational landscape that can be developed and shaped to support innovation because of people. And here we are referring more specifically to attitude and mindset. Ideas can be considered to be the raw material of innovation. And this is why it is enriching to learn, share knowledge and experiences, and benchmark on best practices. All this help to trigger and provoke strategic thinking, idea generation, and inspirational leadership. When we talk of innovative mindset, we have in mind people who have marked their times with innovative ideas and breakthrough. Such personalities have immortalized themselves by shaping the lives of people of past generations, but who can still have an impact on the present and future generations through their innovative mindset. I would like here to refer and recall what the great Mahatma Gandhi said. I quote, "So be the change that you wish to see in this world." I repeat, be the change that you wish to see in this world. This means very clearly that it is up to us to see what we can do around us, in our work environment, in our organization, and how we can improve on what we do every day in terms of organizational performance and how we can become more efficient and effective. Ladies and gentlemen, the Ministry of Civil Service and Administrative Reforms is mandated to build and develop a modern civil service committed to excellence. But often, one of the greatest difficulties we face in the reform process, and I think everybody will agree with me, is resistance to change and the absence of a positive mindset and the right mindset for change. We have witnessed so many reforms we have undergone with a lot of difficulties. In fact, a positive attitude and a right mindset greatly contribute to the success of any organization. According to surveys and reports on the best performing companies around the world, it has been found that there is a direct correlation between the right attitude of their management, this organization, and their employees on the one hand, and the increased productivity and profits on the other. The reports have also revealed that with a positive mindset, employees become more engaged, they become better team players and more loyal to their organization. Innovation is also intrinsically linked to a visionary leadership, talent management, and the dissemination of values. Steve Jobs, I think everybody knows, who was a pioneer in the field of IT, he rightly pointed out, again quoting, is that innovation distinguishes between a leader and a follower. So it is in fact, it is a fact that when our values are clear to us, making decisions become easier. If at one point in time the buzzwords were, as we usually refer to adapt to change, or adapt or perish, these were the buzzwords. But nowadays you have the new mantras like make change happen, or making change happen, or innovation or evaporation. So if we don't innovate, we just evaporate. So with these words, we are here to listen to the talk of Mr. Moy. I will prefer to stop here, but before doing so, I would like to convey our minister's thanks to Team Synthesis, and in particular to Mr. Chipang, who is the Chief Executive. Maybe some of you know Mr. Chipang. He's well known in Mauritius. He is in Mauritius now, but he's busy in some of the programs he's organizing. And he is represented today by Mr. Ramphol. So we would like to thank Team Synthesis for having kindly accepted to give this talk at no cost to the government of Mauritius. So here I would like to request Mr. Ramchan, the Chief Operating Officer, to kindly come forward and present Mr. Moy to the audience. Thank you for attention.
Pleasure this afternoon to introduce to you Master Trainer, who will share with you how strategies from world-class public sectors, especially Malaysia and Singapore, can be described using the business model canvas, and how you people in the civil service ministry may also use them as a common language to be shared with various stakeholders in describing, challenging, designing and inventing new innovation. Mr. Moy is a consultant, a facilitator and a master trainer in innovation, talent management, leadership development and value socialization. With a background in both technology and human capital intervention, Mr. Moy has been assisting organizations which are both in technology and human capital intervention to transform their human capital base in this era of rapidly changing technology and demography. Among Mr. Moy's unique recent experiences are leading an impactful innovation game which harnesses the ideas of 50 leaders into 4 market-ready innovations, conducting change management classes based on a behavior framework of personal, social and structural influences, spearheading a country-wide regional talent management program with over 100 senior talent in a dynamic industry. And last but not the least, facilitating a transformational course to change the mindset of people development among managers. Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, let's warmly welcome Mr. Moy.
We are here to talk about, thank you, it works wonders. Okay. So we are here to talk about a public sector innovation mindset. And a mindset is a belief system. And for that, I think I will want to start by saying, let's feel a little bit more relaxed. We are going to be about like an hour. Let's a little bit more relaxed so that I also get a bit more relaxed. I see there are many old friends here. One of that is Mr. Dubois. Many years we have known each other. So afterwards, if you have questions I cannot answer this way, okay? Okay, so what is a mindset? Can I just maybe get a contribution from the audience? What do you think is a mindset? How would you say a mindset is? Sir, you look like you may know the answer. Would you have anything to contribute? What is a mindset? You say somebody has got a certain mindset.
I would say it's basically your attitude.
Very good. It's an attitude. It's a belief system. And all that starts by asking questions. A lot of us go to school, go to university, we learn all the facts in the world, but sometimes we forget to learn how to ask the question. We only know how to give answers. But answers to the wrong question is not very useful, right? So let me start, because this is an innovation topic, so I am giving myself a bit of a license to be a little bit unconventional. Let me ask about the function of the civil service. Is the civil service a service provider and a regulator only? Or is the civil service a change agent to bring the country to the next level? I don't need your answer. I like you to think about the question. After at the end, maybe we can come back to this question, shall we? Okay, I hope this technology works this time. If I stand here, I hope I'm not blocking. Good, all right. So we are going to talk about the public sector innovation mindset. We said it's an attitude to innovation. I'm going to do it in two parts. The first part, we are going to talk about the big picture. What is the big picture? We are going to take a quick tour around the world, to the part of the world where I come from. We're going to look at the Prime Minister's office of the government of Singapore. You've been shopping, Orchard Road? Yeah, that's the place, okay? And we're going to look at the Prime Minister's office as well of Malaysia. You've been to KLCC, Twin Towers? Yeah, that's where it's all happening. And we're going to take a quick detour to Europe as well. What has the governments there at national, state, or provincial, or even local council level done in terms of innovation? So that's the big picture. Look at the world. But that's just a nice story, isn't it? At the end of the day, we have to look at what we are doing. So I call that, with all due respect, I call that the small picture. Why is it the small picture? At the end of the day, it starts from one person. All ideas, even Gandhi, which you quoted so nicely, he started the movement from one person. It doesn't matter what everybody else think, but he believes that independence of India should be gained through a non-violent movement. And he believed and he paid with his life for it. Don't worry, we are not asking you to do the same thing. Huh? Just believe enough, you don't have to pay with your life. At least not yet. Huh? Okay, right. Now, this is the world map. Let's look at the big picture. I apologize for the small print. If at the end of today, if you think you like the pictures and all that, we will be more happy to communicate it through the organizers to you. Okay, so you don't have to take too much notes. I would prefer you think about it, and if you have a question, I prefer you ask the question. Remember, change comes from asking questions, not giving answers. Well, you have to give answers, but answers to the right question. So, let's look at a few of these bubbles from East Asia. You have Seoul in Korea, you have Australia, but we are going to spend time on these two bubbles, Singapore and Malaysia. And then we are going to go to Europe and take a look at what's happening in innovation in the past couple of years. First stop, Orchard Road. No, Singapore. Okay. So, how many of us have been to Singapore? I just like to put a... Can we see a show of hands? Wow, good. No wonder MK is doing such... okay, cool. Now, in 1995, the Prime Minister's Office of Singapore started a project. That project is called PS21. Any guess why is it called PS21? Well, what would PS stand for, you think? Public service. And what is 21? 21st century. Congratulations, you are on the dot. PS21 is started as an innovation effort in the year 1995 by the government of Singapore and is parked under the Prime Minister's office. They started with what is known as a top-down approach. This is what we must do, and this is what every ministry must do. This is the compliance list, this is what you must submit, and everything. Did it go down very well with every ministry, every department, when orders just come down like that? Well, maybe in meetings like that we will not. When we go back to our own office, I am not sure. So, by the year 2008, the government of Singapore changed the strategy to become bottom-up. What is bottom-up? Every ministry, every department, every division, you decide. We just want to see innovation. How it's going to be done? Why don't you decide? What makes sense for your division? Maybe you know better. So they change it around. So from 2008 onwards until now, they have got a lot of successes. One of the success is this particular project called Aging in Place. I'm not sure if you realize, but Singapore is actually an aging society. Very much like Japan. If you go to Singapore, you will notice sometimes let's say you go to McDonald's and places like that, you will find quite elderly people, they are cleaning after the place and all that. And well, they have to do something, but it shows you that the society is an aging society. So this particular example may not fit you. So that's why innovation is contextual. Innovation has to solve your problem. Just because somebody else is doing it, it doesn't mean it's the right thing to do. But before we go out and do anything, it's good to know what others are doing. So at least if we can learn from them some of the maybe mistakes they have made, let's not repeat it and save some time. But in any case, let me just give you a bit more information. So this particular project was the first prize in last year's what is called the Excel Award. So PS21 is a group of about 40 civil servants, 40. So there's this group of 40 civil servants. What do? They are in the Prime Minister's office. Their job is to encourage a few things. One of the things they encourage is what they call staff suggestion scheme. Because worldwide, in innovation for public sector, it is found that most of the ideas would come from the civil servants themselves. More than half of the ideas of innovation would come from the civil servants themselves. The other half may come from the public and all that. So getting ideas from our own people is very important. So that's one of the schemes that PS21 does in Singapore. In 1 year, they get about 500,000 suggestions. 500,000, 520,000 to be exact suggestions. Out of which they implement about 60%, so about 300,000 ideas. But then again, some ideas can be pretty small. I mean, it could be a change in a particular procedure, cutting down a few steps in an application or something like that. But some ideas are big. So one of the big ideas is this one, which PS21 basically assessed and awarded as the #1 innovation project in Singapore, which is called Aging in Place. And this is actually submitted by one of the hospitals, one of the government hospitals. So as I mentioned, since 2008, Singapore has taken a bottom-up approach. So the administrators of the Khoo Teck Puat Hospital in Singapore found that there's this group of people, about 400 of them, 400 patients, have multiple entries within multiple admissions into the hospital. Do we have the health ministry here? Anyone from health ministry? Okay, I thought that I could just compare some numbers. So in the hospital, there are 400 patients who, within 6 months, have 3 admissions or more. Can you imagine in 6 months you get admitted 3 times or more? Is it really because it's the treatment was done properly, or is it that they do not have equipment at home, didn't get a relapse, or what is it? So they did a research on that, and I will show you some of the tools we use for research. And they found out that actually, if you provide a bit more support for people at home, those who will be discharged from the hospital, they don't have to come back that often. And every time they come back, what does it do to our hospital system? It takes up the resources, it occupies the beds and everything. So because of the impact, and in Singapore, they evaluate all innovation projects on 3 criteria. The first one is innovativeness. Is it new? Is it new thinking, or is it something we have always been doing? Second one, impact. Bottom line, money saved, or number of lives impacted. And the third is the alignment to the government's strategic transformation focus. So based on these 3 criteria, they choose projects from around the government of Singapore and they give them award. That's called the Excel Award. The Excellent Continuous Enterprise and Learning, EXCL. So this is one of the innovation projects that came out from the PS21 effort.